So for the 22nd class, we looked at Great Zimbabwe and Zheng. And you might be asking yourself, why put these two together? Great Zimbabwe, a people of East Africa. Zheng was a Chinese admiral. And I think the book put them together under the umbrella of the sea roads. And in terms of cultural diffusion and hemispheric interactions, you have the Silk Road connecting China to Rome. You have the Trans-Saharan Trade networks of West Africa. And the sea roads were also very important in this diffusion, in this hemispheric interaction. So starting with Great Zimbabwe, we looked at this painting of Great Zimbabwe. And if you look at this, very vibrant, very lively, a lot of trade going on. We see the soapstone art here, lots of jewelry, gold, ivory, food. So from this picture, you can see a lot of trade, a lot of interactions, a lot of prosperity that you can buy these things. And we also see this wall. So we looked at this just to give you a little flavor of what Great Zimbabwe was all about. And don't confuse Great Zimbabwe with the Trans-Saharan Trade route. We're talking huge geographic distance between the empires of West Africa, of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, with Great Zimbabwe, which is here in Southeast Africa. Now, these people of Great Zimbabwe, sea routes primarily, whereas the people of West Africa would be the Trans-Saharan Trade Network and their land routes. So please don't get the two confused, which oftentimes kids do in history class for whatever odd reason. They think Africa and they think broad brush, one Africa. Africa is the most complex continent on planet Earth. Okay, anyway, we got that out of the way. And again, the land routes. When you compare Great Zimbabwe and Zheng to the land routes, here's the Silk Road once again, from China to Rome, with the Kushan and the Parthian in between, and all of the interactions and networks and the way humans interacted, spreading of religion and ideas and of love and of hate and of disease and all the ways human beings interact. This was the land route, okay, from China to Rome. Trans-Saharan, to reiterate it one more time, you can see this network of roads throughout North and West Africa. Now, the Indian Ocean trade route, you can see these lines are as elaborate as anything we saw here, okay? And it's another example of how human beings mix. And again, here is Zheng, China. Here is Great Zimbabwe, East Africa. And you can look at all of these areas in between, the Middle East, the Persian world, the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, Madagascar, okay? So this is what was connecting the world, these three things, okay? So Great Zimbabwe, largest of 150 major stone ruins scattered throughout modern Zimbabwe and Mozambique, and you can see what it looked like. And these are Shona or Bantu people. 10,000 to 20,000 people were supported through animal husbandry, crop cultivation, gold trading with the Indian coast. And this is a picture of modern Great Zimbabwe. And if you look at it, it's not entirely that different than that initial painting that we looked at. You still see the colors and the vibrancy and the trading and the economy of things. And so anyway, just wanted to give you a little modern parallel there. Now, Zimbabwe is a Shona word for stone houses, okay? Now, the history is still alive in the memory of Southeast Africans. It's a point of pride. It's a point of heritage, okay? So there were three main areas: the hill complex, which was the spiritual and religious center, the great enclosure, 328 feet high, and the valley ruins with these Daga dwellings, okay? So it's clear evidence of advanced civilization despite its years of abandonment and disrepair. Now, for many, many years, it was taught in schools in some places that the people who built Great Zimbabwe were non-African. They had other explanations, thinking Africans couldn't possibly make something of this magnitude. So, bigger point than the history itself. This is an example of historical bias, an example of racist beliefs. And history can be used as a tool to promote belief systems. Okay, I'm not going to get too political here, but you can hear plenty of political things in the present of using history as a tool to promote a certain way of things. So anyway, getting back to the world history here, there was theories that it was Phoenician, Greek, or Egyptians because of how advanced. And again, it was built by Africans. Okay? So Africa did have this level of civilization, which we know now, but they had to undo a lot of false narratives, a lot of false teachings of the past. Okay? And in a little less controversial vein here, you can see Zimbabwe soapstone art. This is the art of Great Zimbabwe. Art is another illustrator of the culture of a people, and you can see, very cool. In fact, it's on their flag, so it's still a point of pride, okay, to say, hey, this is our history, this is our heritage, okay? So that was Great Zimbabwe, and with Great Zimbabwe, East Africa was connected to these ocean routes, and bigger point, Great Zimbabwe was created by Africans, showing Africa had that level of civilization, and unfortunately, history is sometimes bastardized and falsified for a particular goal. So anyway, Zheng He. Now, Zheng He, this is a painting of him, and he went on 7 maritime expeditions, and he traveled all over. So from 1405 to 1433, he traveled a great distance. So oftentimes people think of the great explorers of history, and usually Christopher Columbus or Magellan or something to that effect comes up. These are Western, sailors. Zheng He really is the guy who is the most impressive in the voyages. And again, this is, a few decades before Columbus was doing his thing. So anyway, he used maps, star charts, and compasses to navigate the open seas. And it was the first fleet in history that didn't have to hug the coast as a means of guidance, because prior to Zheng He, essentially you really had to, hug the coast to figure out where you were. The Vikings were able to do their thing when they made their way to North America, but for the most part, most sailing people were just following the coast. So this technology in terms of navigation on the seas pushed mankind forward again. We're only as good as our technology, that kind of thing. So the first voyage, he traveled for 3 years and went all throughout Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent. On the second and third voyage, he returned to some areas. He went to some new places like Thailand, modern-day Sri Lanka. Now, the voyages he went on are unbelievable, and we're going to go into more detail in the assignment. It was also on the third voyage that Zheng He erected this tablet in Ceylon, which is Sri Lanka, honoring Buddha. And it's written in Chinese, Tamil, and Persian, which shows that he is connecting people around the world. Now, on the fourth voyage, he reaches the Arabian Peninsula in the Middle East, the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, returns with tremendous riches and people. The fifth voyage, maybe the most famous of the voyages, he brings home a giraffe to show. That's pretty impressive to do that, to go, hey, get a giraffe and get it back to China. So he traveled all around again for another 3-4 years. His sixth voyage, he returned ambassadors to various countries, concentrated on the Arabian Peninsula and East Africa. And on the seventh and final voyage, he revisits some of these spots, showing that he is connecting with people and nurturing these connections, establishing these connections between China and the world in these very elaborate, technologically sophisticated boats. So anyway, the assignment I'm going to ask you to do, if you're absent, you can do this as if you were in class. Answer this. In what ways did Swahili civilizations participate in the larger Indian Ocean world? Provide some tangible examples. Please use this link. It's on Google Classroom. And evaluate the 7 voyages of Zheng He. What do you think his rationale was in choosing these routes? This is going to go into a little more detail than what I gave in this video, because I don't want to do the entire class in a short 10-minute video. What similarity to Zheng He's ocean routes have with the Silk Road and what we learned about yesterday? And the last one, what factors would have encouraged Ming expeditions to the port cities of using that map on page 123? And the last parting words is, you take Silk Road, you take TransSaharan Trade Network, you take the Indian Ocean maritime networks. This connected the world. This is the hemispheric interaction and the cultural diffusion that advanced history, and we still see the effects today. So thank you for watching.